How was everyone this morning?
Yeah.
Good? Well, thank you for the introduction, Greg. I don't know if some of you think I'm from New Jersey in America, so just to clarify, about 9 miles off the coast of France. My name's Culkin. The Rock Fitness was originally set up with my business partner and I to host an annual white-collar boxing event. It wasn't served for personal training or group training at the time, so this is just something the last 12 months through the inception of MPE and my development that we've worked towards. A picture and a logo, I think, that has more significance and meaning. And the last 12, 15 months have professionally and personally been probably the toughest of my life. 3 kids in the space of 26 months, my little girls, and obviously a business and a brand that has afforded me the freedom to do something I love. But I think 2 or 3 people I must thank for the support. So my wife, who has given me the support to take the business forward, and obviously working with Greg and Sean at MPE, it's allowed me to be here today. The Rock Fitness, as I said, was set up originally to host white-collar boxing. Last year we had 20 participants and 700 people at the event. But it's more than just an annual white-collar event now. It's a place where professional people, predominantly 35 to 45 years of age, come to escape their bubbles, reduce their stress, lose weight as a byproduct, and just increase their overall confidence and well-being. I've got a little bit of a crazy story to tell. I used to be an owner of Fit Body boot camp, went all the way to the States, brought it to Jersey, 2012 with a former business partner. There was rapid growth, but we were running, flying by the seat of our pants. We invested in the Rock Fitness, as I alluded to before, to host white-collar boxing. And late 2015, we invested over £150,000 into a new facility to expand Fit Body, put us in a position where we almost lost everything. So a little timeline. Since December 2015, business partner and I sold the Fit Body Bootcamp franchise. In June 2016, I started my house renovation, which took 3 months. In the middle of that house renovation, our 3rd little baby girl come along. And then in October 2016, something a little bit surreal happened with me in terms of a former business partner selling or agreeing to sell the business of the Rock Fitness without my knowledge or consent, leaving me no choice but to go to lawyers and reclaim my business. So in October 2016, I was left in a position where I buy my business partner out for £60,000 or accept an overall sale for the business of £120,000 and leave ourselves debt-free. So throughout the course of 2015, stumbled across NPE, made contact and was captured by the headlines from one of the Facebook ads, and it resonated with the position that I was in. So I was contacted by Rick Isaac, who kept in touch with us for a period of about 10 months. Business partner at the time thought MPE was the biggest waste of time, to be perfectly honest. So I had no buy-in from him on that. But I was also connected with Neil from Oxygen Fitness, who told me about his story with MPE, and that stayed with me and was a factor in enjoying and moving forward. So I just wanted to, well, I'll let you just read that slide. And this was really important for me. Through some of the times that I was going through with my former business partner, someone from Australia was keeping in touch with me throughout this process. There was a lot of empathy shown, understanding, and there was no pressure put on me to make a decision to jump on board with MPE. I think the biggest thing throughout this process was, could I do it alone? My confidence was not. To be quite frank, I'd lost a little bit of motivation and love in the fitness industry. I'd always dreamt of owning a business where I would have sales, structures, systems in place that I could spend time with my family, I could go travelling. And that experience through Fit Body Bootcamp never really materialised. As I said to you, growth was good, but there was no systems in place to measure potential growth and success. There was a critical juncture, so it was time to learn about business systems and processes or go back to trading time for money, and I think we all know what that's like. 7, 8, 9 hours on the floor, one-to-ones, being more of a counsellor rather than a trainer and a coach. Action time. Delving in with Greg straight away, it was clear that I was running the business carelessly without looking at the dashboard. Metrics, numbers, growth was something that I'd shied away from. If I had a bad month, if I lost clients, I wasn't good at looking at spreadsheets. I didn't want to look at the spreadsheets. If there was money in the bank, as far as I was concerned, the bills were getting paid, that was a success. So that mindset had to change. Effectively, this time last year, I was starting from scratch, finding a way to get people into the door, grow the business. And with that, there was a simple plan, and that's what MPE provided in terms of the holiday campaign. So this time last year, edited holiday survival guide provided by MPE, managed successfully to go to press. From the holiday campaign, I wouldn't have done that with MPE. That was a template, that was a campaign that was provided for us. It brought in immediately just under £2,000 paid in full subscriptions. It enabled me to put a little bit of my personality, a little bit of love, TLC, back into the business, back into the fitness studio, after obviously a dispute with a business partner and news leaking of the business being sold behind my back. So with that, we arranged a Christmas party for existing members, current members, and as you can see, press release of the holiday survival guide. Also managed to stitch Tommy, who is our head trainer at the time, still is. We thought, let's get a little bit of humour back into the festivities, and this certainly went down well, helped our likes and shares on Facebook. But it was just a message to say that Craig Culkin and the Rock Fitness was back in town, and we were there to serve and help the professional people we were looking to serve. And bringing Greg, he has constantly for the last 12 months, every 2 weeks, every week, been there to support, to guide, to systemize or help me systemize it. So, you know, working through what my goals were. And this is Greg reinforcing to me. I think this was October 2018, just as we jumped on board. Feels like being a happy family man who wants the right work-life balance. Looks like hitting stage 5 within 18 months, which I believe is going to be attainable. Acting and portraying what I stand for. Unfortunately, with 3 girls, that has not come to fruition as I would like. And truly empowering the niche I want to work with. You know, work in progress, but you can see obviously just the reinforcing, the coaching that MPE and Greg has provided us there. So in January 2017, there was so much to do. I was under a lot of pressure, still wearing many hats, still training people, still doing the systems, the sales, administration, accounts. There was the challenge of getting through auto closer, structuring a sales process, getting to grips with tech such as Infusionsoft, adding more workouts to our group training schedule, but more importantly, the scary bit of if you want to grow, you've got to bring in staff. So in January, I only had 1 part-time member of staff in Tommy Graham, and that was a critical juncture where potentially I could not reach my goals. I basically had no full-time staff to help me grow the business. The results that I'll show you in a minute will reflect that. We're still wearing many hats, as I've just alluded to, and it took me 4 months to employ my first full-time member of staff, and that was threatening the growth of my business and professional development at the same time. And within that first quarter, it was difficult getting the time to structure a set sales process, which was always something that I wanted to do, where I would have a constant flow of leads that I could track the right people, nurture them and get them into our funnel. The breakthrough in April, yes, I took the plunge, employed staff full time, one as a head trainer, one as client care manager and semi-private trainer, rolled out more workouts, 30 a week, really focused with Greg on Jersey is an offshore finance district, so close to our studio facility is, you know, all the trust companies. So we really worked on a 28-day pound-for-pound challenge, and I'll show you the results and some of the success that we've had with them low barrier offers. And August was a very, very quiet month in terms of footfall into the studio, school holidays, people being away, but at the same token, it was one of our biggest grossing months of the calendar year. So the results short term, doing everything myself from the first quarter, were very slow. No coincidence that we doubled in growth since employing and making the decision to bring in a team. And the holiday flash sale brought in just under $2,000, which we touched on before. So just a few photos. The one on the bottom left, recently, the last few weeks, I had all the team, had the nutritionist specialist come in to take our body fat. I'm not going to tell you what mine was. Middle one is one of our recent client transformation stories with a little capture of our white collar boxing. But I think yesterday's presentation really reinforced the positioning and just getting a better alignment through our website and material. This is the past 30 days, so I ran this report just prior to coming. So as you can see, we signed up 12 new clients and brought in £23,500. Now, this is in no way showing off, but this is a picture of now being able to service debt, now being able to pay the staff wages, now being able to come to London, staying in the Hilton Hotel, and a flight from Jersey with 2 nights away from my business and my kids. So there's a story certainly behind the numbers, but relating it to obviously our active members, self-explanatory, but you can see just up until the end of October, our current or active client base is touching 150 clients, but it really is a stark contrast to pre-MPE, to the same time 2016, where you'll see in the yellow line, so if we look across to November, I think we're looking just under 60 clients. So I think it really illustrates the growth in the active clients. I wanted to just give you a little bit of a breakdown for the last 12 months, our gross revenue and where the money's coming, where obviously our products, where we're having our success. So you'll see that 27% and 23% of the £202,000 that have come in the last 12 months has come from our group training and personal training. But we've also had a lot of success from our white collar boxing, and that is just our entry fees for the 10-week program. So I think in the last 12 months we've brought in close to £40,000 through entry fees for our white collar boxing. So that's just a little illustration of our products and services and what's working for us. I just wanted to show you obviously the growth or the monthly auto pay since the staff come in April. So obviously the yellow is 2016, the red is 2017. So it's no coincidence that the growth April, May, June and July is a direct result of obviously bringing in staff, increasing our active clients, and more importantly working with Greg on raising our prices. I think the lessons you can see from the board, but from my point of view, I don't think I'd be standing here today, and I'm not being told what to say here, but I certainly wouldn't be standing here today if it was for Sean, if it was for Greg, and obviously the framework and the support that MPE has provided us. But in that said, and it was a big time last November, I couldn't afford MPE. I thought the fees were honestly quite astronomical, but there was a decision to be made. Do I invest in my business and myself to take the leap, to grow as a person and a business? And can I justify that? So at the time, to be quite honest with you, could I afford MPE fees? No, I couldn't. But I put it on a credit card, and the rest, as they say, is history. I'm now able to afford them monthly fees. I can now service my debt. I can now pay my staff wages, and I can obviously see a way forward, and I have big plans for 2018. I've shared some struggles and some of my successes with you today, and I think sometimes we hide, or I think certainly men can be a little bit reluctant to share some of their struggles. So I think it's important that it's important that we share them. Don't take your metrics personally, like I used to do. I used to hide from my numbers. I used to be scared of them. Acknowledge your wins, which I've learned through a process of the last 12 months. Greg's been, give yourself a round of applause. But more importantly, have a clear idea what your goals are. My goals for 2018 to push through the £30,000 a month mark, are to start live streaming workouts for working mums who can't make the gym, but more importantly, be able to take my family away on at least 2 holidays next year. So that's my goals for next year. And I think the final one, my wife and I have now got a TV in the bedroom, and so don't be having 3 kids within 27 months. Thank you everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.